today we're doing something. It's kind of weird. Let me explain. Most of the time for weddings, we're there for a specific number of hours, and those hours are normally 6, 8, or 10 hours. But occasionally, we're there for an abnormal amount of hours, which is today. For today's wedding, we're starting at 4 and we're done at 7, which is a total of 3 hours. Those are the right times, right? It's really weird. It's always most awkward when you set your camera down and you walk away and people see that lady saw me do that. She's calling a bar. There's a couple that wants to take pictures inside of the bar, and sometimes it can get a little hairy, so she's that's not for today. That's for a completely separate shoot. But for today, it's a full wedding, but it's only 3 hours. If I'm being honest, I'm not even really sure how to approach that. Having access to free coffee whenever we want is a good thing, and it's also a bad thing, right? Do you remember a couple of days ago where I mentioned this that monstrosity of a new the new cable came in, and this is a tangled mess. Update, I took the gaff tape off because it wasn't holding. I took some liberties. It's not the prettiest, but it's not going anywhere. I wanted to take a minute and get your opinion on something. You may or may not have noticed recently that the editing format or the format of these videos is a little bit different, mostly in the music. It has more of a chill lo-fi kind of feel to it, and with that I've added some editing tweaks in the color of this. There's a little bit of a fade. If you really want to dissect it, there's less contrast and there's a little more fade in the overall picture of this video. And on top of that, there's a couple of shots that are just a little bit longer than normal. And I don't know if I like it because it's new or if I like it because it's actually better. Let me know. Here's a little hack if you ever need to cut something between frames on the timeline. Let me just show you. Let's say that you're in Premiere right here. You need to make some cuts, and let's say this, I need to get in between these two beats right here. But with the current settings, it's just not letting me do that. It's just jumping me back and forth between frames. Well, there's actually a way to do that. All you're gonna do is move your cursor up to the timeline right here, right click, scroll down, go to show audio time units, and now you can go in between those two notches. Savannah didn't know that, and I was explaining to her what I had to do. She didn't know that, so I figured somebody else might know it. So it's one of those things, you don't know that you need it until you're in a situation where you do need it. We're doing photo and video, meaning we have to take basically everything. Everything I can kind of tell, it's going to be just like a normal wedding. It's just going to be condensed into 3 hours. You know, my biggest gripe with setting this thing up is it takes forever for all the satellites to triangulate. If they aren't triangulated, then that means it'll shift. Every time that I've crashed it was because the satellites weren't triangulated, so I have to wait. Just now, okay. We have about an hour left. Nothing but chaos since we got here. But did you see that sky though? It's just amazing. This kind of goes without saying, but for these things, I don't use this camera. I use my phone. Well, we're done.